post in the chat.
Fluent and chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets played. Fourth quarter heat or a 2-minute drill. If you can't handle the truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron and MJ, we break that smoke.
What the closest thing to perfection will that make you?
Stats don't lie, we just let them spill. This is real talk sports, welcome to Fluent and Chill. Fluent and chill, yeah, we call it how it's played. From the field to the court, every legend gets played.
It's too bad, TikTok, you can't hear the intro music.
Because it's super dope.
It is, and
super dope.
For those that lost, did you see my? I know we don't actually interact with each other as much as we should on TikTok, but did you see my last post by any chance?
Yeah, I did.
I did a throwback to you. You doing some Yeezy,
some Kanye West. I did see that. I did see that. I forgot that we did that. I damn sure did, Toad. I forgot that we did that. I was like, oh shit, that was a while ago, which tells me that we've been doing this for a long time. That's what it tells me.
We've been doing it a long time, but also yes, and it's actually really funny because I will get clips because I've never been good at putting enough clips. I'll admit to that, and so that being said, I'll get clips from 3 years ago, from 4 years ago, and it's like he looked younger. Like there's some with Haley, I'm reminded of. I completely forgot. Remember we did like an amazing interview with Terry DeHare.
I do remember that
stuff like that. That was like I completely forgot, and it got me thinking. It got me thinking. What's up, man? How you doing?
Running good.
You all don't know we were a little bit late with each other, so we normally do like a pre thing that we did not do.
Pre-production thing. Yes, we do.
So we're basically going to do this live, and I'm going to tell you. So I'm going to talk about the other thing that I was going to tell you before we went live. I'm going to ask you that in a second. But first, I guess I'm going to take my headphones off so you guys can hear this on TikTok, because this is important. Because speaking of throwbacks and forgetting who people are,
Get the video on this. Tracy Morgan.
I can't believe he did that.
Hey, what did I just say?
Wait. What did you say?
Nah.
So for those that didn't, who are not on YouTube, and the guys that are on TikTok here, we're going to get to the Rich Paul comments. Absolutely, PJT. We're going to get to that, I promise. Thank you for all the stuff that you guys are sending. That being said, the clip I just showed was of some influencer dude, I guess, and I don't know where he is, but he's sitting there with Busta Rhymes. And he says, "Yo, can I get a pic? Can I get a pic?" And Busta being, the good guy that he is, daps him up, takes a picture, goes, "Yo, get it. I'm here with Tracy Morgan. I was conceived at Mardi Gras, and Luther Vandross is my father." Who does a better Tracy Morgan? Tracy Morgan or Eddie Murphy?
Tracy Morgan, because it's him. But Eddie Murphy does a fantastic Tracy Morgan. It's great. Ballpark Franks. Ballpark Franks. He does a great Tracy Morgan. Yes, he does. No doubt about that. But Tone, come on, man. Like, you don't know who Busta Rhymes is? How do you not know who Busta Rhymes is? If you
don't know who Busta Rhymes is, then just don't do it. Like, why even? Okay, I got to ask you another question. Is the Fluent and Chill in the background going by too fast? Is it distracting, or is it okay?
No, it's good.
It's good?
Actually.
I want to slow it down.
It looks like a ticker from the stock exchange.
It is. Like, that's actually what it is. Our stock is going up. Isn't that crazy? I'm here with Tracy Morgan. It looked. Be honest. It looked like Tracy Morgan. I'm doing it. It looked like Busta Rhymes was going to smack him upside his head.
If that camera wasn't on, he would have swung on him. 100%. If that camera was not there, he would have swung on him. No doubt about it. Because if you know anything about Busta Rhymes, you know that Busta Rhymes will go from 0 to 60. He 100% will do that. And that's because of the Jamaican blood in him. He can't help it. There's really nothing he can do about it. He can't help it. He will go from 0 to 60 just like that. But with that being said, this has nothing to do with Bus more than it has to do with this dude, man. Like who did you to say that it was Tracy Morgan? And we're not gonna get canceled for me saying this, but this is more evidence.
Al Black people
watching. Yes, y'all think we all look the same. Y'all do. This is more evidence of that. But y'all think we all look the same, and we don't. Busta Rhymes doesn't look anything like Tracy Morgan. Nothing.
But you don't look anything like Aaron Glenn, and yet every single week in our comments, are you Aaron Glenn?
Aaron Glenn this, Aaron Glenn that. I'm like, yo,
who is the other? You were also weren't you getting like James Posey or something too?
The James Posey thing, I can see it. I can see some I can see some of the similarities. Yes, I can definitely see that. Just like sometimes when I was younger, I used to hear Shannon Sharp, and I'm like, I don't know about that. But I mean, watching.
Well, I saw you. I've seen pictures of you, obviously, when you were young, and I obviously know Shannon Sharp from when he was young. And that I could see some similarities, but like not enough to be like to confuse you.
Right.
I definitely no disrespect. I see nothing with Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn. I don't see that at all.
I'd never seen. I mean, the only thing that I think people look at is the gray hair. That's it, and the white goatee. That's it. I don't see anything else. Like I've said, I'm darker than him. I'm taller than him. He's got a round shaped face.
How you know? How you know? Is he? You don't know? How you know how tall he is?
And Aaron, you remember Aaron Glenn used to play in the NFL. He used to play cornerback. He's like 5'10". He's a small dude.
5'10" isn't small.
Well, it's average height. I apologize.
All right. I'm just saying. You know.
Yeah.
We're mean to people.
Mm-hmm.
He's 6'4", by the way. I'm 6'3", in case anyone's because there's like we call him 5'10". Because my brother is notorious for telling people he's 6 feet tall, and I'm like, on what? On stilts? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
no,
I do the math. I'm 5 inches taller than you. I'm 6'3". Now, unless I'm 6'5", which I'll take. I'll take. I think the height. What was the tallest you ever listed?
The tallest I was ever. Some people would confuse me all the time. Like, what you about 6'5"? I'm like, no, I'm not that big. I'm not 6'5".
Because I was notoriously listed at 6'4", and I remember once for some tournament I was listed as a 6'5" point guard, and everyone was like, "Ooh," like nah, like nah.
Yeah, that looks a lot different.
I'm like, I'm 6'3" combo guard at best. Let's be honest.
The assistant coach at Long Beach State, not just the assistant, the head coach at Long Beach State. I remember Seth Greenberg. He works for ESPN. He had asked me how tall I am, and I told him I was like, I'm 6'4". He was like, you look like you're 6'7" on TV. I was like, no, ain't no way, because they was watching tape of us. Yeah. He was like, you look like you're about 6'7" on TV. I was like, nah, I ain't that big.
No. The other thing I wanted to ask you about, this was actually the pre-production question I was going to ask you. So, Charles Barkley, by the way. Yeah, Charles Barkley's a total lie. Charles Barkley is 6'4". And this is how I know. Because when you and I hang out, I look at you eye to eye the exact same way I did Charles during his playing days, because I met him when he was on the Suns.
Yeah.
Eye to eye. He's 6'4". No.
So it wasn't this. So it wasn't this.
It's like you and me. It's like you and me.
Wow.
When my hair was puffy, we would have looked the same height. When my hair's long, he's a little bit taller. But yeah, no, it's definitely high. I was 5'10". You crazy? Playback.
Yes, sir.
Is going away.
Gone.
As of Friday. And it's basketball and it's business, which are my two favorite things in the world. Leave the
more
Bears.
Business than basketball. It's more business than basketball.
And let's forget. Listen, you leave the Bears out of this for now, okay? Just stop it. My heart's a little bit broken, so we're not going to talk about it right now because I don't want to cry on air. Should have had that game. But anyways, I digress. So playback. This is what I want to talk about. So playback was a place, if you don't know. So for the guys, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you are, if you don't know, TikTok was a place where, playback was a place where you could go watch. They had the rights to NBA, some soccer, some MMA. For a short time, they even had a deal with WWF.
WNBA games too.
WNBA. Yeah, there was a lot of, and they had the rights, so you could actually go as a host and host like a watch party and actually have the game and watch the game, which is very unique because most other places, you can do a watch party, but it's like you're watching us talk and like, and we have this actually. It's a thing called assist. We'll talk about that later. But the scoreboard's on top of us, and we're watching the game on TV with you, and we're reacting, but we're all watching, like we all have a second set to watch. This was unique in the sense that it would be us like this, and it would be like this, and in the middle of the screen here, right next to us, would have been the actual game that you're watching. So it was kind of cool.
Yep.
That is no longer as of Friday. They're gone. So this is why I want to bring up the business of it because, and hello everybody on TikTok. This is why I want to bring this up. I said to everybody, one, it was great. They're paying everybody too much money. Two, it must have cost a fortune to have all those rights. With I needed some confetti. Right, with all, like just the NBA alone, those rights must have cost a fortune. And I said, there's no way this could be a sustainable business model because they're spending way more. There wasn't enough advertising. There wasn't enough viewership. Like I'm sure they were paying Gilbert Arenas, who had a show there. They're paying like all these guys all this money guaranteed. Yep. The smaller creators were still getting smaller. Like you could do as a smaller creator, you could go do a show and make a few $100, like just by watching a basketball game that you were going to do anyways. Like it was just too much money going out. So as we,
that's not sustainable.
Moratorium. What are your thoughts on your time? And
I thought it was a good time, Tone. I mean, being there, I felt like the idea is very much like what we do here. Like we interact with the fans, only except, we don't get to watch games, but we interact with the fans. We get to talk basketball. Some of the quote unquote trolls, it got a little monotonous and it got a little corny, but I really enjoyed being able to, it was almost like, well, it wasn't almost like, it was exactly like having League Pass where we would go from room to room to room. So for example, if you got the Raptors and the Knicks on right now, and let's say the Raptors, at some point, they got this thing blown open. Well, we can jump over to Chicago and the Golden State Warriors while that's going on. And I mean, we could bring in more. I think we could bring in more people. In addition to bringing in more people, I felt like the interaction with the fans, I thought that was dope, Tone. For real, I did. I felt like we had an opportunity to, really make some headway. When we had that, it was out in San Francisco. We had a playback event, and it was dope.
Didn't you have a picture of you and
which
in front of the restaurant?
Which was bugged out to me when I got there. I was like, what the hell? That's me. What's going on?
You're a celebrity.
I didn't know that. I was like, what the hell? That's me. I mean, it was Gilbert Arenas. It was Lowe and me. And I was like, wait a minute. What am I doing up here? I mean, I ain't what these dudes are, but apparently I was. So it was dope, man. And I found out just a couple of days ago that they got bought out. And
they got bought out.
Yeah, I found out a couple of days ago that no more. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Okay. See, that I didn't know. I only got the notification that they were shutting down. If they got bought out,
they got shut down. So
okay, shut down and bought out are two different things. So from a business perspective, if they got bought out, someone may be going to rebrand it and relaunch.
From what I understand, it got shut down. Let me rephrase that. I don't want to give you any. I don't want to give you any bad information. Right? It wasn't. It was from what I understand. It's going dark after Friday. That's what I understand. I don't know anything else after that. I just know that we were We were on for 2 years now, 2 seasons.
Yeah,
going on 3 seasons. We were on with them, and it's going dark. So unfortunately, that's what it is.
Oh, all right. Well, apparently
Yep.
Serena Williams' husband is one of the investors. So, and he's got paid. So that's interesting. You want to dive into some basketball?
Let's do it. That's what we're doing here. That's
All
exactly
right.
what we're doing here.
The streak.
Of course. Of course.
The streak is over.
Done.
The streak is over. Does it mean anything?
Yes, it does, Tone. I think it's really significant. Okay. Yes, it does. 100%. I mean, if you think about what he's done, 1,297 games with having 10 points or more. I don't know if you noticed, Tone, but Ray Allen has played 1,300 games in his career. In his entire career, he's played 1,300 games. LeBron James got 1,297 games where he has scored 10 or more points. This is a big deal. I mean, the last time this happened was in 2000. It started in 2007, in January of 2007, and then it went from January 2007 up until today. We're talking almost 20 years where he's done this, and I don't think that people understand how difficult it is to have a streak like that where every night I'm a double-digit guy for over in 3 different decades, in the 2000s, in the 2010s, and the 2020s. I did that. So I 100% did.
Can I ask you a question? Where are all the LeBron fans that were giving his totals and including regular season and playoffs and saying, "Oh, look how many points he scored total because that's what matters"? Where are they? Why aren't they saying, "No, that streak doesn't count because in a finals game he scored 8 points"?
Why would it? But the thing I don't understand is
I'm asking the question because they started it as a child.
What I'm trying to make sense is why wouldn't it count? That's what I don't understand. That, like, if you score 10 points or more for that long, like, why isn't that something that we wouldn't be talking about? So for him to do that for that long, I 100%. But I think that that's something that it's just another thing that they have to talk about, and I would think that it would make more sense to talk about it, right? So why wouldn't they include that, Tone? I've never heard that before.
I like I said, I don't know. When I first was told, LeBron originally when he scored 40,000 points, they were like, yeah, if you look at regular season and playoffs, he's already scored 40,000 points. And I said, yeah, but I go, you don't count the two. And I said, okay, well, so now I'm asking if they were adding regular season and playoffs then, why aren't they including playoffs now and saying, well, he actually doesn't have that streak because he scored 8 points in a playoff game in 2011?
If he scored,
I'm looking for you for some insight because they added regular season and playoff points together, and now with the streak didn't end because he had an 8-point game in the finals of all times. Do we have to have an asterisk and say regular season streak?
I know what you're talking about. What you're saying is in the regular season, as opposed to the playoffs, a guy scored 8 points, 2011. So if I'm going to add, I want to make sure that I'm following you, Tone. If we're going to consistently add what you've done over the course of your career in the playoffs, is it legit that he scored 8 points in an NBA Finals game in 2011? So does that mean that's where the streak ended? Is that what we're saying?
I'm asking the question. Does that end the streak?
I don't think it ends the streak because I don't count the playoffs, because the playoffs. No, I never combine those two.
Important part.
Well, sure, it's the most important part, but here's the difference, though, Tony.
Remember Herm Edwards played to win the game.
You 100% play to win the game, but those 1,297 regular season games I think what you're doing, Tone, is you're trying to lump me in with the rest of these people.
I'm not. I'm asking you the question because you hear it from those guys more than I do.
And I don't combine the two. I don't go, yo, he scored over 50,000 points. Okay. No. This is a regular season. This is a regular season accomplishment. This isn't an accomplishment that happened over the course of both the regular season and the playoffs. And because it's a regular season accomplishment, 1,297 regular season games. If you're going to talk about James with this, then that's it. It can't be anything else. Because if you're going to combine the two, I feel like if you're going to combine the two, to your point, you got to shut it down. What happened in 2011 where he scored 8 points? Yes.
If you're going to combine
it's interesting that we bring
for the record, because people are in the comments saying, "What? I don't do that. I separate the two, and I say, hey, this is how many this is how many that playoffs, regular season. I separate the two." But I was curious to get your take.
I think it's interesting that's brought up a lot, that he scored 8 points in the NBA championship game. You know, Bird scored 8 in the NBA Finals game. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you know that Kobe Bryant scored 8 in the NBA Finals game?
I think he scored less than 8.
Yeah, he scored 8 in the NBA Finals game too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like it's always a thing with James to bring that up, that he scored 8 points in the NBA championship game.
Well, I think it's brought up. Well, let's be fair. It's brought up that he scored 8 points in an NBA Finals game when he had a finals that was horrible, where he was the 3rd best player on his team. He was the 5th best player in the series, and he cost them, as a favorite with home court advantage, an NBA championship up 2-1. So it's not just the 8 points in that one game. The 8 points in the one game, I think, is the cherry on top. When everyone says, 10 plus points for X amount of games, oh my God, he's
also scored, but he's done that before.
He's the greatest scorer ever. No, I'm just saying, when you say that, it's like, well, hold on, that 8 points is that cherry, that cherry on top for those people that kind of, because that was back to back.
There are
back to back. There are horrible finals. Like the two, I talked to a friend of mine in Vegas who, how can I put this? He's a bookie. And he was like, listen, I was going to put it nicely, but he's a bookie. and he's like, there was no faith in LeBron because what they saw in 2007 and what they saw in 2011. So in 2012, the betting money was against them to lose again. That's why, like, the Thunder should not have been favorites if you think about it. 23-year-old KD, 22-year-old I'm drawing a blank. Russ, 23.
Russ, James
Harden coming up.
All kids.
23-year-old Ibaka.
Kids.
He never should have been the favorite against the Heat. That's crazy. But because everyone in Vegas and everyone betting was like, this dude chokes in the finals. We have proof. 7-11. Regardless, you can give the reasons why he didn't play to his standards, but he didn't. So everyone was just throwing money. That's the only reason they were the favorite. And so that's what he told me as a bookie. So when it goes to the 8 points, that's why they bring up the 8 points, is because there's not a lot of negative against LeBron.
Yes,
so
it is.
But there's not a lot of negatives.
But he has scored. Since you brought that up, but he has scored in single figures in postseason games. That's happened before.
Yeah.
The NBA Finals isn't the only time that happened. I think
absolutely.
If I go back, if my memory, you can fact check me on this, Tone. I want to say in the 14 season when they played Indiana, I think he had 7 against Indiana, and I want to say in like game 4 or game 5, something like that. If my memory. And the reason why I remember that is because I remember the next game that they played. I remember, when they interview the guys, like when they talk to the guys, like while the game's going on, but James was doing the interview before, so it was taped. And he talked about how he got home, and then the next morning his kids was on their way to school, and his oldest boy, instead of, yo, what's up, Dad? His oldest, because he got in late that night. So he said his oldest boy said to him, he ain't say, what's up, Dad? He ain't say nothing. He was just like, 8 points?
Oh, no.
That's it? and James was like, man, go your ass to school. That's where you going. Go your ass to school. So that's why I remember that. So, I mean, he's had games like that. But I think that if we're going to do that, right, if I'm not one of those people to be lumped in,
we're talking for the everyman right now. Both, like, I'm making one point, you're making the other side. It's not necessarily what we believe individually.
I just look at from, if it's a regular season, if it's a regular season accomplishment, that's what it is. Now you're telling me that the fans because I know what you're doing here, Tone. The fans that combine the two, if they're going to combine the two, you can't combine the two because that's not 1,292 games.
That's right.
Because it happened in 2011, then again it happened again in 2014. So within a 3-year span.
Cool if you make an
single
argument.
digits.
I'm cool if you make an argument as long as you're consistent.
Right. So he does have 12.
Don't tell me. Yes, Tone. Yeah, this guy's obsessed with you calling me Tone. Yeah, he calls me Tone. I call him Jay. We family. I just want you to be consistent. So don't tell me Michael Jordan needed Scottie Pippen. Yeah. Didn't everybody need somebody to win? Magic needed Kareem, or Kareem needed Magic. You could pick. Bird needed McHale and Parrish for that matter. LeBron needed Wade, Bosch, AD, Kyrie. Everybody, like, when you say they needed someone, it's just yeah. You want an interesting stat? The number 2 scorer on any team in the history of the NBA. If he's not playing, no team has ever won.
Losing.
No one's ever won. No one's ever won ever.
They're losing.
Ever. So of course you need someone. So anyways,
and I with that being said, I'm going off for the 1,292 regular season games that he played, which is from 2007.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. From 2007 up until what's today? Today is Tuesday. Up until what day was that? Friday.
Yeah, like Friday something.
Yeah, I think it was since Friday. Up until then, nobody else has done that, and that's a pretty impressive. And to combine the two, you can't say that. No, and I won't say that. But he's gotten I feel like he's gotten so many accomplishments, and I feel like he's done so many different things that I just think that this is another thing that he has with him. So
his longevity will be something that like scientists are going to have to study.
Yeah,
like how this was even possible. That being said, you know, I love my
conspiracy theories. Yes, sir.
So it never rains in Southern California. Tony. I love Tony. That being said, here's the conspiracy. I want your thoughts. LeBron James tie game against the Raptors. How fitting is it, by the way, that it's the Raptors? But anyways, and the Raptors lose. Who, by the way, we'll talk about them in a minute. I told you they were going to show you their true colors and suck. But anyways, I digress. Gets the ball, an opportunity to win the game and score his 10th point.
What does he do?
I believe little Emmanuel quickly scared him, and he throws it into the corner for Rui Hachimura. 3-ball, boom, game. My Lakers win. And all's right in the world. And the Raptors lose, which is a double whammy because I told you they weren't going to be that good this year. And they started off pretty good, but I told you. That being said, so that's what happened. Super excited. My Lakers won. I'm happy.
With that being said, though, Tone, it
was a conspiracy. It was a tie game.
Yep.
LeBron knows even if Rui misses, the worst case is it's overtime.
Sure.
So the conspiracy theorists have said to me, and I want your opinion on this. I'm not saying I'm saying this. I'm passing along information.
Sure.
LeBron threw it to Rui with the thought that he's probably going to miss. I'm going to get away with saying, but that was the right play. And when he misses, I now get overtime. And even though I'm 4 of 17 and I've shit the bed this whole night, I'm going to score my 10 and we can probably beat them in overtime. What are your thoughts on that running through his head?
To be honest with you,
he's aware.
It's that, or there's a flip side to that, Tone. How about I've played most of the night and I'm old and I'm tired and my guy in the corner is wide open, and I don't know if you know this, Tone, but statistically, Rui Hachimura is the best mid-range jump shooter in the game. Not only is he the best mid-range jump shooter in the game, he loves that left corner. He loves it. So for them to leave him wide open like they did, and for him to knock that down.
He wasn't. IQ was on him, and then once LeBron had it at the high post there, he bolted out. He bolted from there to try and defend him, which caused him, because everyone thought he was going to shoot it. Like,
of course,
any other superstar shoots that ball. So
sure,
it made sense for the defense to rotate over to him.
Only except he's wide open. I'm older. I really don't have the legs to do this every night. And to have to go into overtime and to have to play longer, let's get this damn thing over with. Because if it wasn't, and on top of that, we have evidence of James making plays like this before. where he has an opportunity to score the basketball. He got the opportunity to get to the rim.
It's one of the things I absolutely hate about him.
He's right, and most people hate, but see, that's the conspiracy theorists. The conspiracy theory gets shot down because 1 minute, you know, he's not as aggressive as he should be, but when he is as aggressive as he should be, he isn't clutch. He doesn't have the clutch gene. So unfortunately, I can't win for losing. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try to win the game. I got Rui wide open, who, if I'm not mistaken, Rui had hit one earlier in the game over there wide open.
Oh, in that moment, that was the right play. 100%. You're 4 of 17. He's open in the corner. That's his shot. 1,000% you make that play.
Wide open.
But it's what people don't realize, it's a no risk play. It's the right play. It's the right play.
So
it's no risk. It's a no risk play. Because if he makes it, they win, and all is good in the world because we won. If he misses, it's overtime.
So if that's
I always say that. Even Kawhi Leonard's, remember Kawhi Leonard's game-winning 3 in Game 7 against the 76ers? Guys, it was tied.
Game was tied up.
It's huge that it went in. Don't get me wrong. Even though he traveled, it was huge that it went in. But there's less pressure when you know it's a tie. Like, it's great to win and be done. It's great to win and be done. But there's less pressure on that shot when you know if I miss, we don't lose. Right? Like, I'm just saying
the worst case scenario.
As a shooter, if I'm catching it knowing I have to hit this to win, and if I miss, we lose, that's a harder shot than, hey, I got to hit this to win, but if I miss, we got overtime. So there's less pressure. That's all. Not
and that part I won't argue. But what I will counter your conspiracy theory tone. Why don't I just shoot the ball anyway? If I want to ensure going into overtime, I'm already sucking as it is.
Oh, because as the defender runs over to him, if he shoots that and misses, everybody and their mother will criticize him for the fact that he took away a wide open corner 3 for a teammate so that he could try to be the hero and get his 10 points. He can't win. He can't win.
Which goes back to the original theory. If I pass the ball in the corner, I'm not. If I pass the ball in the corner, I am not aggressive enough. If I shoot it, I'm not clutch. So it doesn't make much sense to me, because I might as well just shoot the ball if that's the case. Because even though I'm not doing well, I might as well just shoot the ball. And I'm missing he was 4 for 17, which means that he's missed 13 of his 17 shots. So if I miss this, Tone, I will ensure that we go into overtime, and I am going to get a bucket in overtime. If this is really what that's about, I'm 100% getting a bucket in overtime. No doubt about that. But I'm old. So Rui is wide open in the corner. I've been out here all night. I'm terrible. Let's get this over with. Let's see if we can get this over with. Now, the conspiracy theorist says, well, you're taking the pressure off yourself, because if you throw it to him and he misses, then that looks better on you because you didn't take the shot. But if I do take the shot, then I got to listen to you tell me that I'm not clutch, even though I've made the most postseason shots in NBA history.
Not just that. If him not taking the shot means he doesn't have that dog in him.
No, he doesn't have that dog in me.
And you know what happens? And you know what happens when you don't have the dog in you? Oh, you soft.
There we go.
An anonymous source. Do you like that segue? An anonymous source. For those that don't, for you TikTok guys, you're missing out some really cool things that I'm doing on graphics on YouTube, but it's all good. It's all good. An anonymous source said, Evan Mobley, he's a nice player. He's very skilled, but he's got, for lack of a better term, he's soft. Let's just be honest. Like he said, he doesn't have that toughness. He doesn't have that nastiness. He didn't say this, but he doesn't have that dog in him. He's soft. Is Evan Mobley soft? Ooh, you're hesitating. Ooh, wee.
I think that he's trying to.
You know, in my day, they say he who hesitates is lost. But go. Why are you hesitating?
Because there's a part of me that believes that he is soft, and then there's a part of me that there is some toughness about him, but he isn't as tough as. I think let's cut the shit, yo. That's the politically correct answer. Yes, he is.
He's soft.
Yes, he is.
What is it with big men who wear the number 4? Why are they always soft?
I don't think that. I mean, Chris Webber wasn't soft. So I don't.
Brain.
Now, Chris Webber might not have been mentally tough. I mean, he might have gone to pieces from time to time, but I don't think that. I mean, I don't think that because you were number 4, but yes, but I think that what we're trying to do is we're trying to turn Chris Bosh into something that he isn't. Like, I want Chris Bosh because
I want Chris Bosh. Or demo Chris Bosh?
I want Evan Mobley to be the consummate 4-man. And what the consummate 4-man is the dirty work, rough and rugged, just rough guy. That's not who Evan Mobley is. Evan Mobley, I think he's a more face-up, finesse big, who can block shots, who can rebound, but that get in your face, start a fight, get involved in extracurricular activity, that's not him. That's not what he's about. And if you're trying to win, you're going to need that.
Do you? But do you, in today's NBA, do you need what your starter, one of your best players, do you need him to be that guy? Like, isn't that more for like role players now?
No, because Joker ain't soft, and Joker will mix it up. Is as much as Joker
shots though.
Well, I mean, I don't think
he does. He absolutely does. He's hitting people from behind. He's let's be we're being honest.
So Joker's dirty now. I didn't know that.
Dirty. Joker's always been dirty, not like Draymond Green dirty, but he's always been dirty. Okay, with the exception, so Joker's tough. Who else?
Right. It's plenty of other big guys. I mean, what's the kid Jalen Duren in Detroit? Rough and rugged. Not only him. I felt like Al Horford was tough. I felt like Porzingis. I don't think Porzingis was soft. I'm thinking about other big guys. I don't think Franz is soft. Let's see. I'm thinking about other big guys. I don't think Hartenstein is soft. I don't think Chet is soft. I don't think Wemby is soft. I'm thinking about big guys that, guys that play in the paint.
So do you think that's what he needs to get to take the next step, or can he get there without that
The reason why is because they rely on him so much on both the offensive and defensive end of the floor. I'm on record saying that I want to take Evan Mobley and I want to take him to the toughest neighborhood and I want to drop him off and just leave him there and make him figure out how to get home. That's what I want to do.
Might not get him back.
And if I don't, then I don't. It's like you throwing your kid in the deep end of the pool and you got 2 choices: swim or drown. That's it. And that's what I want to to Evan Mobley. I want to take Evan Mobley.
Why you got to bring that up? That's how my dad taught me to swim. That's in the ocean. In the ocean, not in the pool. In the ocean.
There you go. You got 2 choices, Tone. You either swim or you're gonna drown. That's it.
That's why I splash so much when I swim. Now.
There you go. Now, and I feel like with Evan Mobley, they rely on him so much offensively and defensively. He tries to back guys down. He gets pushed off his spots. This has nothing to do with him being. By the way, this has nothing to do with him not being strong, because he's a strong dude. He put on some weight since he's been in the league. He's actually gotten stronger, but the handle is gangly. He's gangly. He gets pushed off his spots a lot more than he used to. Not only that, his face-up game, I think, is better than his back-down game. And the reason why is because I don't think that's his game. I think his face-up game, I want him. When I think about him, how many guys have a
back-down game? How many big men have a back-down game?
Karl Anthony Towns got a back-down game. Joker got a back-down game.
You name 15 players? Can you name 15? You don't have to do it, can you?
I can. Yes, I can. I can name 15 guys that got back-down games, and he's not one of them, and he should. And the reason why he should is because we live in a league where there's so much mismatch hunting. And when I got a smaller dude on me, I should be able to take him in the post, and I should be able to punish him. This dude is 6'11", Tone. He's 6'11", 240. That's not a small dude. You should be able to take smaller dudes in the post and punish them. But that's not his game, right? With that not being his game, if I'm going to be more of a face-up big, I got to be way more efficient. My issue with me, not with Evan Mobley, because I'm trying to turn him into Garnett. I'm trying to turn him into Malone instead of allowing him to be the finesse face-up big that he is. But I would like to see him get tougher, because we're not winning an NBA championship with him just being a 19-10 rebounder. No. I mean, I
need to interrupt. I need to interrupt because this is a great idea, because he obviously he's won a title in Detroit. He needs to call Rasheed Wallace. That would be.
I was thinking Garnett, actually.
Okay, or Garnett. Yeah, either one. But Rasheed has ties to the Pistons. Is why I was
right.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all.
I was thinking Garnett. I was thinking Rick Mahorn. Just to be, because I'm a firm believer, Tone. I don't believe in the idea of putting the dog in somebody. No, I don't. You either have it or you don't. Okay. Gasol had the dog in him. Bryant brought it out of him. He already had it in him. Does Evan Mobley have that dog in him is my question. And if he does, how are we going to get it out of him? I'm the dude.
Because that takes him to the next level, right?
Yes, that 100% takes him to the next level. It reminds me of DeAndre Ayton. Tone, I'm the dude. I'm coming into practice with Evan Mobley, and I'm starting a fight. I'm just going to start a fight with him. Yes, I'm going because I want him irritable. I want him upset. I want him mad because I want to see that nasty. I want to see that mean. I want guys to look at him and go, "Yo, who is this dude?" Because this wasn't who he used to be. I used to think all the time about Dwight Howard and like the smiley face. And I used to think to myself, when last time you seen Dwight Howard in a fight? And I don't mean like a fist fight where he's punching guys in the face.
No, but like
like mixing it up with guys just to let you know that I'm not the one to be messed with. No, I'm absolutely not that one.
I saw it, but they were dressed as women and it was in Thailand. That being said, let's get back to not necessarily LeBron, but back to the Lakers for a quick second, because people have been asking. I'm assuming that you saw the interview, Max Kellerman and Rich Paul. And basically, Rich Paul said that the Lakers aren't built to win. That the Lakers don't have a team that is capable of winning. There or a roster, excuse me, that's capable of winning. What are your? First of all, did you see the interview, or at least parts?
I saw some of it. Sure, I did. I saw some of it. I didn't see.
He basically said the Lakers are not contenders. They lack athleticism. They lack the athleticism to contend. And I think he referenced last year. First round, and a team that was more athletic and
ran them right out the arena. Yeah. Now, okay, sure, Tone. They did shore up some things. But I was saying this before the season started that I'd be blown away if this team won the NBA championship. Considering what they have and what they don't have, I would be blown away at if they won the NBA championship. Yes, they shored up their perimeter defense with adding Marcus Smart. I thought Vando was going to be better for them. He can't get off the bench. And the reason why he can't get off the bench is because he can't score. And in today's game, you and me have had this conversation more than once, more than twice. The days of Dennis Rodman, the days of Charles Oakley, guys who can't score consistently, those days are gone. You have to be able to score the basketball. You have to be able to be effective as an offensive player, particularly as a bucket getter. You don't have to be 25 a game, but you have to be a threat to score. We cannot just consistently leave you open. And I feel like that's where we are with this Laker team. When you have a guy like Vando who isn't giving you much, and because he's not playing, Marcus Smart has been in and out of the lineup. He had a back issue. That doesn't help. So this team is what James used to say about the Cavs, where they're top heavy, where we got 6, 7, maybe 8 guys. And one of the guys that they're relying on is 41 years old. That's not going to work, Tone. No, that's not going to work. And the other guy that they're relying on, the big guy who does give them quality minutes, Tone, if we win an NBA championship, 16 and 10 ain't enough. Not for my big guy. That is not enough. He doesn't run the floor as much as he should. Not only does he not run the floor as much as he should. But I told you that.
You all thought he was going to morph into something he wasn't for the Lakers. You did.
I thought that
you were the move, and I said he's not going to be. Listen, he'll be better than he was in Portland, but he's not going to be as good as we need him to be.
And you need what you need is a 20 and 10 guy in order for you guys to really have a legit shot at winning it.
I heard Anthony Davis is on the block.
No, that's not happening. He ain't coming back to Los Angeles. No, that is not happening.
Could you imagine? Okay, I know I'm a squirrel. I'm gonna get distracted. I get it, but hold on. Just wait. Could you imagine if Pelinka figures out a way, because Harrison isn't there anymore, and Nico's not there. So can you imagine he finds out a way to get Anthony Davis back, and basically then they traded Luka for like Max Christie and whatever they get back, and whatever they get back for Anthony Davis, which I hear is they're not asking for much. Because there's a rumor that Detroit's offering like Tobias Harris and I don't know some other scraps.
Ivy.
Yeah. Ivy's not scraps. Okay. But anyways, we'll get back to that. So how do you? Okay. First let's talk about Rich Paul. How do you feel about Rich Paul? Like, even why is he saying like what is it his business to be saying this?
David Falk used to say it all the time about Jordan when the Bulls was winning the NBA championship. They're the best team in the NBA. They're going to win the NBA championship. So if David Falk could say it about Jordan, then
he's saying they're going to win and they're the best. He's not saying this team sucks and they don't have enough pieces.
What's the difference, Tom? I mean, so I could say that you can win the NBA championship, but I can't say that my client is on a bad team and we're not winning with this crew.
If Pete Rose bets on baseball and it's that his team is going to win, sorry, not Pete Rose. Let's use something more accurate. If Damon Jones bets on the Cavs winning a game versus he betting on losing a game that he can affect, isn't that different?
No, it's not different, Tone. The reason why it's not different is because one, Rich Paul doesn't affect the outcome of these games.
How do you know?
No,
He does not have an agent?
He is an agent, but he's not playing.
He can't affect. Really?
So he's gonna tell James, you gotta suck. So this team's not that good. So you gotta suck in order for us to get you out of there.
You gotta say
what we're doing now?
You gotta say your sciatica's acting up and miss a couple of games.
How about this?
That is impossible.
You know the difference between that.
Did they not say at the beginning of the season, I'm going to wait and see how this team does before I make any decisions? And then all of a sudden, I have sciatica and I'm going to sit out the first little bit of the game to watch how they do?
Yeah, they did say that. But the difference is that the sciatica.
You don't think Rich Paul can affect that?
Here's the difference, though, Tone. The sciatica logic actually can work. And the reason why it can work is because I'm old and I actually do have sciatica. That's the difference. Now, if I wasn't old and we knew that there was an agenda here, then that's different. But James in the space that he in right now, I mean, I don't think that he's.
I'm not just saying James. I'm saying he is a player agent.
Yes.
Maybe not James, but is he not an agent to other players? And does he not affect how much money they make? And if he says, "Hey,
100%.
for the benefit of you, I need you to do this," you don't think an agent can affect what a player does?
I do think that, but we're talking about two different. But it's not that black and white though, Tone. The reason why it's not that black and white is because with James and Rich Paul, this is more than business. Like you and me go back a long time, and with us going back a long time, now what we're doing
even more influence. You're right.
No, now because now what we're doing is we're testing the integrity of the game. That's what we're doing. Because now if I'm doing this now to who you are, the conspiracy theories start. Well, what else have you asked him to do? What else has he done? If you can influence him to do this.
Okay, but by him saying we're not athletic enough to contend, you don't think even one person will take that as, well, LeBron said it to Rich Paul. Rich Paul put it out in the media to affect Rob Pelinka's decision-making to make some trades. We need to get more athletic.
Even if that's true, then he didn't have. Okay,
it's not true.
But if that was true, Tone, if he said that, why was it coming from James? You don't think Rich Paul could see that? He's been around enough basketball to know if a team is athletic enough, if a team is good enough to win an NBA championship. Why does it have to come from James? The reason why it has to come from James, in your estimation, is because I'm tied to him. When in reality, I'm just watching the games, and from an outside perspective, I'm looking at what's going on, and I can tell that this team is not good enough to win the NBA championship. I can tell right now.
This team's not good. At the time that he said it, what are they, third in the West? How is that team not good enough to contend? He said to contend. He basically said
bounced in round one, Tone, last year. They were number 2 seed. They got bounced in round one.
We didn't have fit Luka. We didn't have 28 points per game.
I'm talking about Houston. Houston got bounced in round one last year, Tone. This is the number 2 seed in the West.
Yeah.
Nobody thought that they were legit. Nobody.
They weren't.
Everybody thought that they were on their way. And with this,
LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, like they didn't have this team.
Yes, they 100. Well, Luka was there, but he wasn't Luka.
Same Luka. It was old boy Luka.
No, it was a different Luka. I'm not going to argue that.
And it was Timu Reeves. Okay, it wasn't the same.
100%. Now this Reeves is way different than the Reeves from last year. No doubt about that. I'm not going to argue that point. This Reeves is different, but he has shown that he could get taken out of a series. Rich Paul seen that. I've seen that. You've seen that.
My point is
that he could get
Rich Paul saying this, I believe, is a direct attempt to influence the Lakers to make a move.
So if that's true,
if the greatest player, what you would say, I say the second, you say the greatest. If the greatest player of all time's agent says this team isn't ready to contend, they're not athletic enough. If his agent goes out in the media and says that, that's a direct smack in the face of the GM and the team to say you better do something. And it has to be.
But and I think agents do this, but I think it's because it's LeBron James that I think it's more polarizing that we talking to Rich Paul. I'm pretty confident if we was talking to Luka's agent and Luka said this wouldn't be that big of a deal. If we were talking to Anthony Davis's agent, if we were talking to Jalen Brunson's agent, and he said, this Knicks team, I don't think that they're good enough to win the NBA championship. I don't think they're good enough. I don't think this would be nearly as big a deal. But because I say what I'm saying, because I know that Rich Paul is looking at the Lakers. Not only is Rich Paul looking at the Lakers, he's been around the pro game for years and he knows what it looks like. But I'm a fan. Yeah, that's what I am. I'm a fan.
He's not a coach. He's not a GM. He's not a talent scout. He's not like that. Is he? I don't even think. Is he at practice? Like he doesn't know. Like where does he get his information from? Where does he get his information? He doesn't get it from LeBron.
I don't think he just gets it from LeBron.
I didn't say just, but some of it comes from LeBron, no?
Yeah, some of it does come from him, 100%.
Let's stick on the Lakers for a second because the bench on the Los Angeles Lakers last game scored combined, the entire bench only scored 10 more points than I did for my beloved Lakers. They only scored 10 more points combined than I did.
Wow, that's not good at all.
They're averaging 24.2 points per game. That is putrid and obviously the lowest in the NBA.
Yep.
Is this really the problem with the Lakers? Or are they so top heavy with Luka, Reeves, and LeBron that, well, who else is going to score?
This is the same Luka who just got back in the lineup. And this is the same Reeves who's been awesome, even with James in the lineup. He's still been awesome. But JJ Redick has absolutely tried to employ his rotations, and they haven't delivered. I mean, Jake LaRavia has been good. I'm not going to argue that point. Marcus Smart's been in and out of the lineup. Vando has been non-existent. We were expecting a lot more from him this season, and you're getting nothing. He can't. Not only can he not score, but he doesn't do anything else effectively. He doesn't make plays. He's not a playmaker with the basketball. He doesn't defend at a high level, and it just looks bad on that part. Then you got Gabe Vincent, who can knock down an open shot, but he doesn't do it consistently. And in addition to Gabe Vincent not being able to knock down an open shot, you also got your backup big in Jackson Hayes, who can be good from time to time, but that's not good enough. And I personally think that when it comes to not just the Laker bench, but the Lakers, I mean, Tone, it's you Laker fans. You guys are spoiled rotten. Like, these dudes should be running through the league. These dudes should be rolling right now, and they're not. And even though I think they're the second seed in the West right now, but that ain't good enough. That's not good enough.
I think they dropped to third or something.
I know that they're a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. I'm pretty confident in that right now. Where they are, they're the 2 seed, Tone. If the season ended today, they're the 2 seed. But that's not the that's not
the Rockets finished last year. I don't like the 2 seed.
That's not legit off the strength that they're not the 1 seed. They're not Oklahoma City. They're not running away with the Western Conference. So even though they got some issues with their bench, and we aren't a third through the season yet, we're barely a quarter through the season, and they got some holes that they need to shore up.
2 seed is good.
I mean, they still have time. I mean, this isn't a situation where this is a team that doesn't have time. They still got time. Yeah.
So do you believe the bench will just fix itself, or do you believe, Rich Paul, that 1, they need to get more athletic, and 2, they need to get some scoring off? He didn't say this. I'm saying this. They need to get someone who can come in and score off the bench.
The group that you have, this is the group that you went with, and you knew going into the season what you were getting. You didn't know that you weren't going to get anything from Vando. You didn't know that, but you knew who Jackson Hayes was. You saw who Jake LaRavia was up in Sacramento. Marcus Smart coming back, even though he had some injuries with Washington, you knew that he could still be one of the better point of attack defenders and be able to knock down an open shot. You knew who Rui was. You knew who all of these guys were. Now, what you're telling me, because now what you're telling me is that
I'm just saying when you have the lowest scoring bench in basketball, and they just came off a 10-point game combined scoring.
Play better.
You got to play.
How about that, Tone? Play better. I'm sick of this. Yo,
not everybody can play better. Not everybody can just play better.
Actually, yeah, Tone. In fact, yes, you can.
Some people just
you can play better.
No, some people just suck.
And you know what? If people just suck, then you as a GM, this is your fault because you're the one who put this group together. You're the one who got these guys together. You got a healthy let me see. Hold on for a second. Tone. Here we go. You got a healthy Luka. Came back to camp in great shape. You got a healthy. All of these guys were healthy coming into camp. So because all of these guys were healthy and all of these guys were ready to rock and roll, you had a certain style of play that you wanted to play with, which is clearly working because you're at the top of the Western Conference. You're in second place. It's not like you are Cleveland, who don't even get me. I can talk about Cleveland the way I can tell you everything that I can about Cleveland, but that ain't the point. This team is getting better. Now, the bench has not been good, but that's where you have to start coaching better. That's where you have to start putting these guys in position where they need to play better. Everything isn't replace this guy with this guy. Everything isn't, we need to get more athletic. No, because you knew that before the season started, who these guys were. You knew that in free agency, who these guys were. And there's nobody, let's be clear about one thing, Tone, because you are a Laker guy. Ain't nobody helping y'all. Nobody is helping you guys. Nobody is. You've said this to me countless times about Phoenix when they were in the situation that they were in.
Yeah, but they did. They helped them. I said they shouldn't, but they did.
Nobody's helping the Lakers.
They did.
Yes. I don't understand why. I mean, Houston did it for their benefit. Houston didn't do it for Phoenix's benefit. Houston did it because, we want KD, and KD's going to make us better.
I'm going back. I'm going back when they got KD to Phoenix, and they got Bradley Beal, and they only had like 6 men on the roster, and they were maxed out on their salary cap. And I said, do not make a trade. And I believe it was the Milwaukee Bucks who sent them like Grayson Allen. They sent them like 4 players for 1, and totally bailed them out. I think it was part of the 3-team deal to get them Damian Lillard, something like that. I don't remember all the details, but I remember saying, why would you do that? They're stuck. They got like 6-7 guys. They're gonna have to bring in a bunch of minimum dudes. They're cooked. You can't win and proof, even after the trade, they still couldn't do it. But I mean, could you imagine how worse they would have been? Could you imagine how worse they would have been if they had to fill up the bottom half of the roster with, minimum veteran guys? Yeah, with me and you.
Like me. Yeah, they'd call us.
I probably would have been good for a couple of threes a game. But speaking of doing right by, there's another team in LA. They should move back to Buffalo, but that said bye to Chris Paul, and it was quite interesting. It was like this feel-good story. Chris Paul, although he started as a Hornet, but he really did his best regular season work, because we know what he does in the playoffs. His best regular season work for the Clippers. And they brought him back, and he announces this is going to be his last season after everybody knew this was going to be his last season. As always, he's the last one to know. And it was going to be this nice farewell tour, been in the league for, a million years. And then they release him. And then you're like, oh, that's pretty shitty of the Braves. What a horrible franchise. Then you start to dig a little deeper, and you're like, oh, he was undermining the coach. He was backstabbing other players. He was talking out of turn. He's a guy who's he wasn't really playing. He's averaging 3 points a game. Oh, by the way, here's a video of him chatting up the head coach's girl. I think he did it to himself. And you know what? Yeah, I'm a jerk and I'm petty. So you know what? Now they're saying they want to do right by him and make a trade to place he wants to go. I say leave him. I say let him die. Let him die on the vine. Say you're retired, and no one pick him up and treat to him. He's been an a-hole to everyone who's ever met him that has ever told me they know Chris Paul. They always say he's a jerk. So screw him. Why does anyone owe him anything? That's my stance. I believe you have the opposite.
I do have the opposite.
You're a nicer guy than me.
No, it's not that. Don't get me wrong, Tone. I think that when you do people dirty, then you deserve to fry. No doubt about that. And I just feel like this is something that could have stayed in house. This isn't something that could have gotten out. We could have kept this in house and let Chris Paul continue during the season. And if he acts out during the season, if he acts to be traded, if he acts to be cut, then we would do that. But to send him home, it just looked bad from an organizational standpoint. This was something that could have stayed in house. Whatever was,
even if after you found out what he was doing.
Well, okay. First of all, the lady who he was talking to, number one, I don't know if he know her. He very well could know her. Yeah, even if that, because remember, don't forget, Chris Paul been in the league for a long time.
That's right. And you don't think he knows who Ty Lue's a woman is?
Yeah, and she probably knows him. So hey,
so why is he like?
I'm just standing on the wall. I'm
as
just
a kid
standing
to
on
say,
the wall.
trying to rizz her up.
What's going on? We just got to practice. And this
I don't buy that for a
second. How are things? I ain't seen you in a while. I
don't buy that for a second.
I do. I 100% buy that. And with that also being said,
not you.
We're also in a space. We're also in a space where him talking to the people on the crew who are vets is out of turn. Okay. I think you could get that off with younger guys. Okay, this is an older group. In fact, I think the Clippers are the oldest team in the league. With them being the oldest team in the league, I'm sure that there's some guys that was like, "Yo, Chris, shut the fuck up, man.
Yeah,
like, all right, yo, I'm good on you." And that didn't have to get out. We could still keep that in house. We could keep that right here. We could keep it where I don't think Chris Paul is tripping if his ass is sitting on the bench. How effective is Chris Paul going to be with the Clippers?
He's not, but I think I want to go back because you said we have to keep it. We should have kept it in house. I don't think you can. And I normally would agree with you, but in this particular instance, because it looked so bad, right, that they released him in his farewell tour. What's up, homie? Going to bed? Yeah. Good night, love you. Because they look bad as an organization, which they've already looked horrible, but they look bad as an organization releasing him in his final season when I think he knew, by the way, that this was going to happen, and that's why he announced it being his final season to put pressure on them not to do it. That's my own little conspiracy. But
you think they were going to cut him?
I think they were going to cut him. And that's when he said, "Oh, this is going to be my final season." I think this stuff had already happened because this didn't just happen like that. This stuff probably happened over the weeks of or months of the beginning of the season. But I think they had to say what they said and not keep it in-house because they looked horrible. You're releasing Chris Paul, an all-time great Clipper, in his final season, his retirement tour. Like, could you imagine the Lakers cutting Kobe after he said, "I'm leaving," like on the farewell tour? Like, that's crazy. So everyone was giving them a hard time. So that's why you started hearing then the stories. Well, yeah, it's because he did this and because he did that. Yeah. Like, they had to save face. So I would 99% of the time agree with you and say keep it in-house. This time they kind of had to they had to release why. I think they had to.
I just think that if this was something that was going to get out, I think they could have done a better job in cleaning it up instead of just airing out the dirty laundry, especially with a guy like Chris Paul, who is a staple in your franchise and a guy that, who made you guys relevant again. Because there was a time.
I apologize. I don't think they actually released him.
No, they sent him home. He's still under contract with them.
Yeah, they sent him home. I think they're still paying him.
Mm-hmm.
And I
think still under contract with him.
Yeah, I think I've said released a couple of times. I mean, thank you, not released. They just told him, we don't need you here.
Yeah, he's still under contract with them. And again, I feel like when you're in a space with a guy like that, even if he is as defiant as he is, because Bryant, we saw Bryant in practice cussing out Mitch Kupchak, telling them that these motherfuckers ain't making me better and all of that kind of
Charmin.
Right. So
Charmin.
These dudes are Charmin soft and all of that sort of shit, right? So we've seen this from older players. With that being said, I do understand that they could have done. I do feel like they could have done a better job in cleaning this up and controlling more of the narrative.
Do you honestly believe the Buffalo Braves could have, like, what in the history has taught you or shown you that they could have done a better job? They've never done a better job.
Well, it's 2025 though, Tone.
They've never done a better job.
Well, they're not the they're are they the Clippers?
They always do the wrong thing.
They're not the Clippers of Donald Sterling though. They're not those guys like
not?
that. No, I think that they're a better run organization.
Are they? This is Ballmer, the guy who set up a fake tree company to pay Kawhi Leonard extra money outside of his contract. What makes them different?
What makes them different
not racist anymore.
Yes, and that I like to think that. And sure, some mistakes have been made. 100%. I'm not going to argue that point. Some mistakes have been made, and some things that they've done aren't exactly what the Lakers would have done, aren't exactly what the Knicks would have done, aren't exactly what the Celtics or anybody like that, what they would have done. No doubt about that. But I gotta believe that
not what 29 other teams in the league would do. Yes, sorry, go ahead.
I gotta believe that with them having new management, with them having built a new arena, which is over $1 billion, they got some people in the front office that know what they're doing, as opposed to what they were doing 25, 30 years ago when they were just having nothing going good for them. I mean, I think they made the playoffs twice in the 90s. With that being said, they've made the playoffs for 14 straight years. They've been in the playoffs. So with that being said, I think that this group, not just from a basketball standpoint, but from a professional standpoint, they got people in that front office who know how to handle things. And this is something that should have been handled better than what it was. They're smarter than that with the Clippers. Now, they might not be great at making trades, Tone. No, they might not be great at grooming guys, but I'd like to think that they got people in their PR department where this is about to turn into something really bad, and we got to get in front of this before this turns into something bad. Instead, not only do they not get in front of it, they just let it run amok. And now we find out that Chris Paul is something completely different. And it's like, wow, you guys really screwed this up.
Yeah, I would say that this is just the Clippers clipping. Like I'm not shocked at this at all. I don't expect anything different. So that being said, I want to pause for a minute. Do you remember who you picked, Orlando or Miami?
I picked Miami to be.
I have the sheet upstairs. Unfortunately, I'm not going to go run and get it. You picked Miami, and I picked Orlando, or did I also pick Miami?
You did. You picked Orlando.
I picked Orlando, and so Orlando is moving on with a 117-108 win in the Emirates Cup.
He's out.
So Miami is eliminated, and the Magic move on. In the other side, the New York Knickerbockers, who were trailing after the first quarter with 3 minutes left in the second, now lead the Raptors 56-47. You will recall that the Knicks played the Raptors 2 games ago, I believe, right before the game, and smoked them by like 20 something points. So let's pause for a second to talk about how sad Raptor fans are going to be after they get eliminated after going 4-0 in the round robin or whatever the hell they went. They were undefeated in the NBA Cup, and I said, remember what I said to you? Okay, they started off great, but this is a 500 team. This is a 500 team. Yeah, they won 9 in a row, whatever they won, and then they get destroyed by 2 games in a week by Charlotte. They lose a tough one to the Lakers. They're losing to everybody. They get blown out by the Knicks. This is the team I told you they were. This is a 500 team, which means they'll win 9 in a row, but then they're going to lose 10 in a row.
If we're being honest, if you're being honest with me, they're a playing team. Is that what? Because that's where I had them at. I had them like around between 7 and 9 before the season started. They're the 4th seed right now, and after the Knicks end up beating them tonight, if they do handle them, they'll drop down to the 5th seed because the Knicks actually win the tiebreaker. So they actually drop down to the 5th seed, and they'll be tied with Miami for the 5th spot. And they could actually drop. They could actually drop from 4. They could actually drop from 4 to. I think they to be honest with you, Tone. I want to make sure that I get this correct. Yeah, they're a half game. They're a game out the 7th spot. So this loss, this loss tonight, and if Philly's next game, if they win, they'd be tied with Philly for the 7th spot.
Listen, I had them winning between 36 and 38. And I said, if they overachieve, they might get to 40. I just have them just below being a 500 team. In fact, I made the bet with the guy on your show there. And if BI gets injured, it could possibly be less than that.
Yep.
Now he's been healthy, so and he's let's be honest, for a couple of games he didn't look good, but for the most part, he has looked good. He has looked good. He's been what they've always missed is that guy in the last last 2 minutes who like, hey, we can just give you the ball and he scores a bucket. And that's something that Ingram does. But I just, to your point, a rebounder, an inside presence they lack. And I still think they lack. There's actually something they lack that I don't even know. I don't even know. It's just I watch them and I'm like, they're missing
something.
You ever taste something and you're like, it tastes okay, but it's missing something. There's an ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
Can you put your I don't know that I can put my finger on it. Is there something other than what we know? Like I said, the big man presence. Like, is there something else?
No, Tone, that's it. Exactly what you just said. They're missing Quigley playing better. There's a reason why they signed him to the extension that they signed him to. He has not been good for them. He's been a turnover machine. He can't knock down open shots consistently. Kind of like, well, not as bad as Lonzo Ball in Cleveland, but he doesn't do well late games. Their interior presence in terms of rim protection, they looking at Scotty Barnes as their interior defender.
Well, he's their most defensive player of the month.
Yeah, well, he's their most versatile defender, and I'm not going to argue that point. But you do need a big that's a dirty work guy. On top of that, their offense is actually good. They get really good ball movement. I love this kid Mamu. I love this kid Mamu. With him, good things happen. But the problem is, I watched them on Sunday against the Celtics. Great ball movement, great action. Can't finish at the rim. Great ball movement, great action. Can't make open shots. Then you get back on defense. You can't stop guys. They got good point of attack defenders because I think this kid Shed is a damn good point of attack defender. He reminds me a lot of Davion Mitchell. With that being said, though, Tone,
that's why they thought he was expendable and let him go to Miami.
Yes, which I think the issue with Toronto right now is Quigley needs to play better. And in addition to Quigley playing better, they need to shore up that big man spot because they don't have that right now. I think that I watched this Toronto team, and I think that they're a big man away from really contending in the Eastern Conference. I don't think they're as bad as you think they are, Tone. I don't.
Well, I think they are as bad as I think they are as constructed today.
Yeah.
That being said, we talked about this a little bit. We teased it earlier. So I want to get your take on, can this person actually help anybody? And is Toronto the team that he can help? Report is that number 1 seed Detroit Pistons are expected to pursue Anthony Davis and could offer Ivy, Tobias Harris, and some expiring contracts and picks. The Atlanta Hawks and Toronto Raptors are also rumored to be vying for Anthony Davis's services. Could Anthony
100%.
Davis be the guy that makes the difference in Toronto? Because there was also rumor about Giannis to Toronto, but Anthony Davis might be more realistic because now I think Dallas saw something that I saw and I told you. I said to you, the trade for Anthony Davis and Max Christie for Luka wasn't as horrible as people thought, in the sense that if healthy, which they haven't been, if healthy, this team actually, they're so good defensively, they could actually contend, if healthy, in the West. And I think Dallas ownership, who wants this team to tank so they can move them to Vegas and have a casino in the arena, I think they saw little glimpses of, oh, this team might be good. Remember the movie Major League?
Yes.
Where they're like, the Cleveland Indians, we got to move because they got to lose because I think she wanted to move them to Orlando or something. I don't know, somewhere in Florida.
Miami.
Was it Miami? Oh, Miami didn't have a team back when that movie. I guess that's why I was like, Miami has a team. Anyway, so wanted to lose a bunch of games so we can move them. And let's bring in all the worst possible players. I think they realize that because now I hear Anthony Davis is on the block, Daniel Gafford's on the block. Like everybody is, D'Angelo Russell, who has played well, but obviously everyone's on the block in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they could get him for a song. Or anybody for that matter. Who does he help more? Detroit, Atlanta, Toronto. Or is he the answer in Toronto and they should just go all in and get him?
I think he's the answer in Toronto, but I do think that he helps shore up that front line in Detroit even more, because now he gets to, just like in Dallas, he gets to play the 4 because Jalen Duren will play the 5. He's that stretch 4 that they need, plus that dirty work guy in Isaiah Stewart. That definitely works. But with Toronto, I think he's exactly what they need. Like Detroit, he just makes them better. In Toronto, that big guy that they don't have is him. And before you said Toronto, when we were talking about possible teams, that's the first team I thought about. I was like, why isn't Toronto in the Anthony Davis sweepstakes?
I joked about the Lakers, but like Emmanuel Quickly, Jakob Poeltl, and someone, and some obviously, and a pick. I think you like that seems like a pretty no-brainer, right?
Yes, it does look like, and not only that,
it also helps Dallas lose.
It looks like a fire sale going on in Dallas because, again, I thought it was a short-term lease. I thought it was a window that was not going to be open long. With it not being open long, like, we got to win now. Well, it's obvious that you guys want to scrap this right now. In the words of my man Tony Tone, when you fail fast. So if this is over, let's empty the tank right now. Let's get rid of everybody. We've already fired Nico Harrison, which means that the next GM, he doesn't want any of these guys. These aren't his guys, right? All of these guys are what Nico Harrison left. So I want to get rid of all of these dudes and start over. So yes, I think that if I'm Toronto, I would definitely be in the hunt to get Anthony Davis. The question is what would it cost? And knowing Dallas, it might be for a bucket of extra crispy and a 6-pack, though.
I think they can get him cheap, and which is exactly what Toronto needs. I think, look, my understanding is he wants to be back in Chicago, but for anyone that's been, Toronto is like a cleaner, safer Chicago. Like, it's very, very similar, like size, population, the look, the feel, like it's very Chicago-esque. So it's not like it's he's gonna cry about the winters. It's the same, Chicago's got the same winters. So I think that might be. And here's the other thing, because people are right away, oh, he doesn't stay healthy. You know, one thing I know about Toronto, they have this magical training team for whatever. I don't know how they do it, but guys who can't seem to stay healthy, Kawhi Leonard, Brandon Ingram, seem to stay healthy for more games in Toronto than anywhere else. So this might actually be a good fit. And then all bets are off, by the way. All bets are off. If they make a trade for Anthony Davis, like that changes everything. Then of course I don't have them as a sub 500 team. So I thought that one was interesting. So the other team that I mentioned in the Anthony Davis possible sweepstakes was the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks have this kid. I'm just going to read off his last 5 games. 41, 14, 7, 1-1, 30, 12, 12, and 2, 29, 12, 12, and 2, 29, 13, and 7, 21, 18, 16, and 2. Who the hell is this guy?
Who's this kid, though? Who is he? This kid, Jalen Johnson. I mean, on top of that, him being young, Tone, you're a businessman. I'm calling you on line 1, and I was wondering if I could interest you in Jalen Johnson, Trae Young, 4 first-rounders. How about you hand over the kid from Greece?
The way he's playing right now, that wouldn't be crazy.
How about you hand over the kid from Greece, Tone? How about that? Matter of fact, I'll give you another. I'll give you 5 ones. How about you hand me the kid from Greece?
I don't think they need to give up 5 ones, but okay, I'll take it.
I'll give you Jalen Johnson. I'll give you Trae Young, and I'll give you 5 ones. Give me the kid.
Would you do the trade right now while he's injured?
If I'm Atlanta, yes. Yeah, 100%. I would do it. Yep. Because this is
or anybody else can jump in and say, "Let me see if he's healthy." No, I'll give this all to you right now.
I will take this car and I'm going to take it to my mechanic, but I'm buying it first because I don't want nobody to see it.
Because if he doesn't work out, you're fired.
Oh, 100%. I'm pushing all my chips to the front of the table. No doubt about it. I'm pushing all my chips to the front. And I don't really want to give up. To be honest with you, I don't want to give up Trae Young. And the reason why I don't want to give up Trae Young, because I'm not – it works with Dyson Daniels at the 1, and I'm worried about, who's going to handle the ball? But here's the thing. How about rewind the clock. I'm going to keep Jalen Johnson, Tone. I'll give you Trae Young. I'll give you the kid Alexander Walker. And I'll give you a Kongwu. How about you give me the kid from Greece?
Why? Sorry, just in my TikTok comments, I was like, he's from Nigeria, but I'm liking it. His parents are from Nigeria. He was born in Greece, but I don't think that's neither here nor there.
That's the reason why he's called the Greek Freak.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know. Anyways, that being said, so it threw me off, and TikTok. I want to actually, we're going to open it up and ask TikTok questions and open it up and bring people in. That being said, I like the first one better.
Of course, you like the first one better because you like Jalen Johnson. Absolutely,
yeah, I like the first one a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I don't think that's crazy. So let me ask you that. So that trade. So Paul McKeskey, former Piston, former Buck, was on with me last week, and he suggested the Knicks make a move for Giannis. And he said, I'm giving them, I want to say, I'm trying to remember who OG Anunoby, maybe Josh Hart, and one other player, I forget who, and the first round picks. Is that which one's a better deal, you think, for the Bucks? Your trade or that one?
Atlanta. Because I need, first of all, I'm not getting back, if I can keep Jalen Johnson out of the deal, I'm not getting back a star.
Who's the other young kid in New York? Because I want to make the trade. There's one other.
There's Coley. There's the point guard Coley is in New York. Let's see. There's Mikal Bridges in New York. There's Miles in New York.
Yes, it was Bridges. OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, and $1 million first round picks.
I actually. The Atlanta deal works because I'm taking Giannis's name off the moniker, and I'm putting whose name? Josh Hart or OG Anunoby. I'm putting his name on the moniker. No, I'm basically
at least
I'm starting over.
Star is what you're saying?
Yes. If I'm getting back Jalen Johnson, then I got something to build with. With these guys, I mean, OG, Miles, Mikal. These guys are complementary players. Giannis is the star. So if I'm handing over Giannis, I'm probably not going to get back another star. I get that part. If I could get Jalen Johnson, hell yes, I'm doing that. However, with that being said, I'm pretty confident that you're not giving me Jalen Johnson, Tone, even if it is for the Greek Freak. I don't think you're giving me Jalen Johnson, considering what they're doing in Atlanta. They trying to do something special down there. So I think that I like the Atlanta deal more because of all of the first round picks.
All right, I like both. Okay, so let me. I'm gonna send out the link so that people can join if you want. But that being said, a question for you. If you had to rate the chances, is it more likely that Giannis gets traded, that AD gets traded, or that both get traded before the deadline?
I think AD goes. I don't think Milwaukee has any interest in trading Giannis. Not only do I not think that Milwaukee has any interest in trading Giannis, I don't think Giannis wants to leave. I think he wants to work this thing out. And you and I already had this conversation, Tone. They were rolling for those first 11 games. They had won 7 out of 11. Then Giannis got hurt. Then they dropped, I think, 7 out of 8. Then now Giannis comes back and they got to get back acclimated to Giannis being back in the lineup. That kind of throws a monkey wrench in what we're doing. Then he gets hurt again. So I don't think Giannis wants to leave Milwaukee, and I don't think they want to part ways with him. I mean, I'm sure you've seen posts that I've made. I think you guys are going to run him out of there. I do. I think you guys in particular, yeah, I'm talking to you guys. You are going to run Giannis. you guys out there in TikTok and you guys on YouTube, you guys are going to run Giannis out of Milwaukee. It's going to be because of you. Not because he wants to leave there, Not because the Milwaukee Bucks want to trade him. It's you guys. You guys are going to run him out of there. It's going to be because of you.
All right. Well, speaking of trades, apparently someone else is back on the trade block, still on the trade block. Jonathan Kuminga is apparently back on the trade block for the Golden State Warriors. I didn't know that he was ever taken off of the trade block.
Tone, this is the consummate guy that doesn't want to get off of his girl. I mean, he doesn't want to be with her, but he doesn't want to break up neither. That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. Y'all know that this dude is not in your future. You know that. You know that you are not marrying her. You know for a fact you are not marrying this girl, but you too much of a you know what to break up with her. You too much of that to break. You know she ain't it. You know it. And because you won't come off of her, you're lowering her value.
I feel like this is Miles Turner all over again in Indiana. Every year Miles Turner was going to get traded until eventually he just signed as a free agent somewhere else. But I mean, like, how many years in a row did we hear about Miles Turner getting traded?
I think this is different though, Tom, because I honestly believe that Jonathan Kuminga is really at a Golden State. And not by him. I don't think he wants to leave there, but
I think he wants. I definitely think he wants out. They treat him like crap.
I think he loves living in the Bay Area.
Okay.
But I think he hates playing for Steve Kerr. I think he hates it. I don't think that he likes playing for Steve Kerr. I think he hates playing for Steve Kerr. If Steve Kerr wasn't there and they were in a different situation where he actually played more, I 100% believe that he would still be in Golden State. I think he hates
let's be honest. Steve Kerr's not a great coach. Let's just be honest. Let's be honest.
You keep saying that to me, Tone. I disagree with that. I think he's a great
coach. He's not a great coach. He doesn't. And when I say, let's be clear on what I mean. He's not a great coach in the sense that he's not going to develop a kid from the draft and make him like he inherited a ready-made team that was ready to win. Mark Jackson.
He could have wrecked that thing, though, Tone. He could have wrecked that thing, and he didn't.
No. Listen, certain coaches are good at certain things. Steve Kerr did a great job of having a team that was ready to win, where Mark Jackson laid all the foundation and said, okay, now I took them to the next step, but they were ready. They were ready to win. It's like, hear me out, because people are going to lose their minds when I say this. The Chicago Bulls were ready to win when Phil Jackson took over. They were ready. Okay, they had made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost to the Pistons. They were ready. Add in Tex Winters with that triangle offense. Add in I always forget his name, the guy who brought in the Doberman defense, right? Phil Jackson with the law. They were there, and he just helped them get over the hump. I think Kerr is that kind of coach where if he's got a good team, he's great. But name me a young player that's developed under Kerr's tutelage. And I don't think there's like
that has developed.
I don't think he really. I don't think that's his focus. And maybe it shouldn't be because they've always been good. They've always been chasing titles. So maybe that's just not the focus. That's what I'm saying. When he's not the right coach, maybe that's a better thing to say. He's not the right coach for a guy like Kuminga.
Maybe, and I think that he would be much better suited if he was in a place like Toronto, where they develop their talent. I think he would be much better suited if he was in a place like Oklahoma City. Not because Oklahoma City is what they are today, but even if they weren't that.
Those teams that have to bring in young guys and develop them are
I think they do a great job in developing their talent. To be honest with you, I don't hate them in Phoenix because I feel like Phoenix develops their young talent. I feel like Phoenix has an idea of what
was Wiseman a bum or did they ruin Wiseman? I don't know. I
don't think Wiseman was a bum. I do think that the way that the way that Golden State had him figured out, because I thought he could play, but I thought that the way that they had him figured out was completely different. I thought that they were trying to turn him into Chris Bosh. I thought they were trying to turn him into a finesse big.
Right, and that's not who he is.
No,
that's a lot of the coaching. He has to understand who he is and how to use it correctly.
I definitely think that they screwed him up with that. Also being said, though, Tone, I do have to give Steve Kerr credit because I think that you jumping the gun on him not being a good coach. Just because I'm not good at a certain aspect of coaching.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I corrected myself and said I don't think he's a good coach at developing young players.
No, because those two things are not the same. I think Steve Kerr is a damn good motivator. I think he's a good X and O guy. He got that from Phil Jackson. I do. But he is what I call a piano player. He's not a piano mover. That's not him. That's not who Steve Kerr is.
He's not a piano builder. He's a piano player.
Yeah.
He's not going to tune the strings, but if you do it, if you have the strings all tuned, he can tickle.
He'll get busy. Yes, he 100% will get busy.
I got you. Okay.
He will 100% get busy. No doubt about that. So I think he's a damn good coach, Tone. I just think that when you're talking about young players, I do have to push back on the young players that he did. I mean, Steph Curry was 24 when he got him. It wasn't like Steph Curry was 28, 29 years old. Steph Curry was 24 years old when he got him. Klay Thompson was 23 years old when he got him. A lot of these guys were still young guys. And for him to revamp that offense, turn that offense into something different and enhance those guys, which did in turn develop them into being better players, says a lot about Steve Kerr.
Like I said, I think Mark Jackson took him to a point, and Steve Kerr took him over the hump. And I think he's a good coach for that. As I said, I don't think he's a good coach at developing young players. Again, I corrected myself in saying he's not a good coach. That's why I corrected and said, I don't think he was a good coach for Jonathan Kuminga. That being said, I don't know if you have any, but I'll put it out there to TikTok now on both sides. If you have questions, throw in your questions. We're going to go for, what do you want to go, another 10 minutes?
Good, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Another 10 minutes. I sent the link to YouTube, so if anyone wants to join on the YouTube, I'll throw the link out again if anyone wants to jump on. If you're on TikTok and you want to jump on and actually ask a question or, tell me how crazy I am, go to YouTube. You can go to Sports Fluent YouTube or Chilltown Hoops YouTube, and the link is in there in the chat, and you can click the link and come join or send your questions in here. One of the questions I did get, and first let me get the update. 69-52, Knicks lead 17. We're 30 seconds into the second half. It looks like I'm going to be Magic Knicks. I'm going to be 2-0 for my NBA Cup games, and then Suns, Thunder, Spurs, Lakers. So next week we'll recap who did what, because we have our brackets that we did for the NBA Cup. I did get a question, and so I'm curious. The question was, why is plus minus a horrible stat? Which is a bit
understand.
I just want to be clear. When the question is why is plus minus such a horrible stat, in legal terms that would be called leading the witness. I'll rephrase it. Do you think plus minus is a good or bad stat to evaluate a player?
To be honest with you, I don't understand it as well as I should. I do understand
regular plus minus, not box plus minus.
No, not box plus minus. I do understand some of it. Like if I'm on the floor, and with me being on the floor, we end up losing minutes because coach put me on the floor with a rotation that wasn't good, and I was playing well, but one of my guys was getting his ass kicked, and they end up going on a 6-0 run to end up taking the lead, and then they end up winning the game. I'm a negative instead of a plus. And that really doesn't, that for me, that really doesn't, I don't think that holds a lot of weight for me.
It's coming, by the way, just so you know, where we're getting to the point where analytics can tell you how many points were scored on me individually and how many points I scored and in matchups and stuff. Like that stuff's coming. But the basic box plus minus, I disagree kind of and agree with what you're saying, because you're right. It doesn't account for matchups and situations and like, hey, I'm doing great, but I'm on the court. Like poor Giannis, for example. I'm on the court with, remember, he had Damian Lillard and who's the other guard up at the top? Also couldn't defend his way out of a wet paper bag.
Malik Beasley.
Yeah. So you got no defense on the perimeter, and now these guys are scoring at will and we're getting smoked. Well, mine looks horrible. the thing that you said, I get subbed in, that, I don't think starters, it affects them as much. But as a guy, let's say I'm a rotation player and I'm trying to earn my next contract, and I go in and we're up 30. And now, we're not going out trying to make it 40. We're sitting back, and now the other team goes on the 10-0 run because we're just trying to end the last 2 minutes of the game. My plus minus looks horrible. And so I never like a stat to be used for an individual that's affected by other people. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you literally, it's the 5 of us as a unit got scored on, 10 more points than the when I was off versus what we scored as a unit. That's not me. So that's why I don't necessarily like that one. So to answer your question, that's why it's a horrible stat. That being said,
yep,
it is important. It can be used again. All stats, I think, can be used with other stuff. But if you see, hey, here's 5 starters, and 4 of the starters are a plus and 1's a minus, well, you should probably watch the game a little bit, but it probably does tell you something, right? Like if I'm trying to think, if Emmanuel Quickly is the only guy on the Raptors starting 5, I don't even know if he's in this driver. If he's the only one and he's a negative 12, and all the other starters are plus 5s, there's something going on, right? Like there's something there, right? So it can give you some, like, I need to watch something. Like, I wouldn't just say, oh, he's a horrible defender because of it, or he's an inefficient scorer, because that's the other. It might not just be that you're a bad defender. You might be a great defender. Yeah. You might be a great defender, but you're not a good scorer, and that's the reason why you're in the minus. So yeah, that's it. The next question, and if you have one, please jump in.
I was wrong about Steph Curry. He wasn't 24, Tony. He was 26 in the beginning of that season.
There you go. See, there you go. Like I said,
I was wrong about that.
What are your actual feelings? What is your overall feeling? Let me read it correctly. Ian Rejos on the NBA Cup.
I wasn't a fan of it when it first.
You hit the like button. You weren't a fan of it?
I wasn't a fan of the NBA. I thought it was a money grab. I thought it was.
It is. It's 100% a money grab. That's yes.
It is that, but I didn't think that the basketball would be nearly as competitive. I thought it was a gimmick. I thought it would be something that would just be around for 5 minutes, and then they would realize that it was going to be a ridiculous failure because guys wouldn't really be that into it. Only except this has been some really competitive basketball, and it turned out to be really great. It did. It turned out to be really great, and I've come around. You will never get me on the same page with you with the play-in tournament, though. I'm out on that. I'm good on the play-in tournament, but
I like the play-in tournament.
But the in-season tournament, I'm definitely involved in this. Now, Meat Tone, you being the conspiracy theorist, I am not a fan of coincidence. So I just want to put this on your mind that the last 2 winners of the in-season tournament bounced in round 1. Goodbye. And the 2 losers in the championship, NBA champion, NBA finals. Just want to put that on your mind.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to take one more question from TikTok. Then I'm going to ask you to mute your mic on TikTok. And then because we're going to bring on a guest, and that's how we're going to end. So here's the final one. What was your initial thought on the Suns before the season until now, and has it changed?
Oh, it definitely has changed. This team is a lot better than what I thought they were going to be. I thought
Let me know when you mute. Did you mute already?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll do that right now. Hang on for 1 second.
Because if you're going to mute, okay, I'll let you mute. Because then I got to.
I'm going to mute my microphone.
You're
is
muting.
Yes. Microphone is muted. Again, they were a team that I didn't think was very good at all. I did not. No. I did not think that they were going to be. I thought they were a team that was developing. I thought that with Dylan Brooks, and in addition to Dylan Brooks, with Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green, with Devin Booker, I thought this was Bradley Beal and Devin Booker 2.0, and I just didn't think that it would work, only to find out that Dylan Brooks has actually been really good for them. He has been. Dylan Brooks has actually been really good for them. With him being really good for them, I like what I'm seeing from them. Mark Williams has been nothing short of amazing for that team. I've always liked him when he was in Charlotte, and he's been really good for them in Phoenix. And I mean, this thing is, they look like a legit playoff team. They do. They look like they're going to be a legit playoff team. I like what I'm seeing from them, no doubt.
So let me, I forgot to, let me give you my NBA Cup answer, and then I'll give you my Phoenix Suns answer. Mm-hmm. So NBA Cup, I hated the idea because I knew that they stole it from soccer in Europe. That being said, to your point, the $1 million has helped. It is competitive. It is good basketball. I would say now I like it so much. I think the NBA Cup final should replace the All-Star game.
Get rid of the All-Star game and have the NBA. How about let's expand on that, Tone.
Challenges
right there.
Do all the other stuff. Make the weekend spectacular fans thing, but instead of an All-Star game that no one plays in,
give the guys the week. Give the guys the week off.
Make that again for $1 million in Vegas. After that, because it doesn't count for the regular season anyways. Just like the All-Star game, the stats don't count.
Right.
So there you go. Now you have a competitive game and still do like the dunk, the 3-point contest. I know those things are slacking a little bit, but still, at least now you have all the fan stuff of an All-Star game. You can still have the votes and trot them out, and they can be there and sign autographs and be like, hey, also, and now it doesn't matter if they're injured or not. Here's my, 10 starters for the East. Here's my 10 starters, whatever players for the West. They still get all the accolades and all the fun for the fans, but the game itself is actually the game.
Spanish Joe, let's cut the shit, Spanish Joe. You don't care about the All-Star game. You don't
watch the All-Star game.
Stop the F the fans nonsense. You don't care. Spanish Joe, answer a question for me. When's the last time you actually watched an All-Star game? From start to finish. When's the last time you actually sat down and watched an All-Star game?
Worth watching.
You don't care.
You don't care. And again, the fan stuff, I love the fans. I am a fan. The fan stuff still happens. The fan stuff is all the skills challenges, the dunk off, the 3-point, the rookie challenge, all that. All of those things still happen. You still vote and get your teams, and they can do something for them. Like, cool. They can be whatever. But the game itself, make a good game. That's the game. Okay.
Can I expand on your thought, Tone?
100%.
How about we take it instead of having it in Vegas, how about we move it to different cities?
Back to moving it to, that's what it used to be, which it should be too, 100%.
How about that? How about instead of having the in-season tournament in Vegas, the semifinals and the finals in Vegas, how about next year we have it in Seattle, and then the year after that we'll have it in Kansas City, and then the year after that,
I like that even more. I love that.
We'll have it in Kansas City.
Cities. Oh, I love that. Love it.
We'll have it in different places like that, and we'll see what type of turnout we get. And with getting that, because I remember vividly sitting on here with my man Tony Tone watching Oklahoma City and Milwaukee in the in-season tournament championship. The next day, Tone was telling me, Tone, how many people was in that arena?
Oh, yeah, it was empty.
It was half empty.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I bet you if Milwaukee play Oklahoma City in the in-season tournament championship, I bet you that arena in Kansas City won't be half empty.
Oh, hell no. There's no other options.
I bet it'd be sold out if it was in Seattle. I bet you that.
Yeah, Seattle.
How about we do that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's not crazy.
It's an idea.
And just for Spanish Joe, another one, for the kids, I coach youth kids. They don't watch the All-Star game. Zero interest.
They don't.
You know what they do? They'll watch the highlights after, because that's all they care about anyways. It's a highlight league.
Care about this.
And then so what was the next thing? The next thing was Phoenix. I thought Phoenix would struggle to figure out their identity, and that they would struggle early, but they figured it out really quickly. And they're better than they thought they were. I think they're better than I thought they'd be. They're a really good defensive team. I thought there was going to be a little, like you thought too, some chaos. Right? Dylan Brooks not just Dylan Brooks, but all of them. Just like my team with Beal, Jalen Green being like, let's prove to Houston, right? So,
yeah.
All right. So now we're going to bring on, we got a couple people before we close out. The first one is Sebastian. What up?
What up?
What's up, guys?
What up?
We're going to last month of football. Are you guys hanging in there?
Oh,
how are we hanging in there?
Well, my Bears lost to the Packers. We got knocked out of first place, so that sucks. And in one of my fantasy leagues, one of them, the other one I'm in first place. The other one, I know you're a big fantasy football guy, Jay. Check this out. I didn't even realize I lost by less than a point, and I got eliminated from the playoffs.
Fuck.
How did that happen?
How did it happen? Because I started. I have my quarterback. I have 10 guys that are injured, but I had Jared Goff starting instead of Jordan Love. Jordan Love gave me 3 more points. I would have won.
Wow.
Yeah, it was brutal. But other than that, yeah, things are good.
You guys are still in the 7th seed.
Yeah. I'm less worried about the Bears. The Bears look good. Even in a loss, they look good.
So I have 5 teams for you. I call it in and out. So I give you the team and tell me if they make the playoffs or they miss the playoffs.
This is NFL?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Out.
How about you, Chill?
In.
All right. Kansas City.
Out.
Detroit.
Out.
All right. Indianapolis.
Out.
Wait, what did I tell you? What did I tell you weeks ago? I told you the Colts were frauds.
Oh.
Daniel Jones getting hurt makes me look a lot better.
But Phillip Rivers is going to save the season.
That's why.
Who? Phillip Rivers?
Yeah, they're going to say he's going to save their season.
Phillip Rivers couldn't save San Diego's seasons when he was in his prime.
Just so you know, Phillip Rivers is a grandfather. I don't know if you know that.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a grandfather. So to answer your question, my 49ers we're going to beat Tennessee this weekend. Next weekend, we're going to beat Indianapolis. The week after that, we're going to beat his Bears. The Rams are going to lose to Seattle. And in the last week of the season, Seattle's going to come to Levi Field, and we're going to beat them for the division. And we're going to have the #1 seed in the NFC. And if you're trying to get to the bowl game, you got to come through Levi Stadium. That's what's going to happen.
Pause for a second. Can you please tell this person when I told you the Colts were going to flop and stink?
This was like week 4 or something like that. Tone never believed in him. I mean, this isn't something that just started in like week 10 or 11. No, Tone told me this like 2 months ago. He was like, Jay, this team is a fraud. Because he know how I feel about Daniel Jones. He knows how I feel about Daniel. He knows that I dig Daniel Jones.
You can go watch the episode. I got the receipts.
He knows I dig Daniel Jones. And I was like, Tone, you're wrong about this. This Indianapolis team is good. He's like, no, Jay, they're fraud. I'm telling you.
Colts out. Do you have any more? Did you have another one?
Last 2 teams. Chicago.
In.
Chill.
You better stay in, Chill.
No, sorry. Green Bay is going to win that division.
We're going to fight, bro. We're going to fight.
You're only going to get one team out of that division.
Dallas.
Out.
In.
Philly's going to choke. Chill.
Dallas is in.
Who is more likely to choke?
Jay,
Philly or your boys?
Hey, this is Dallas's year, bro.
To what?
They've lost 3 in a row, and Dallas has looked pretty good for the most part the last month.
How many times Tone? You've said this to me more than once, more than time, more than once, more than twice. The Clippers are going to what? Tone?
Clippers going to clip.
That's who the Cowboys are in the NFL. They're the Clippers. That's who they are.
The Cowboys have won.
100% are the Clippers.
The Cowboys
are the Clippers.
Won.
Okay, and there's a generation of people who don't know that.
Because
the Cowboys haven't been.
But there's no generation. Right, there's no generation that knows the Clippers as winners. None. You could be 100. None.
Terrible.
All right, guys.
Terrible.
Thank you so
1
much.
chip, 2 chips, 3 chips, 4 chips, 3 chips, 2 chips, 1. Your chip, he's chip, no chips, none.
Goodbye.
All right, see you, Sebastian. Appreciate you, brother. All right. Boom. Last one, and then we out.
Dogio are the GOAT. Yes, I live to watch the Cowboys and the Yankees lose. Yes, I do.
Me too, Chill. I love it when the Yankees lose.
When y'all dudes tell me that I hate Steph Curry or I hate this team or I hate that team, you have no idea what hate is if you think that I hate Curry. Because again, I live to watch the Cowboys and the Yankees lose.
Do you know how many people, because I live in Toronto, do you know how many people hit me up and they're like, I'm with you in the Jays. I'm with you in the Jays to beat the Yankees. And I'm like, I'm a Dodger fan, but okay, I root for my home team of always. I'm like, yeah, I want them to beat the Yankees too. I mean, everybody came out of the woodworks and on like, yo, let's go Jays, beat the Yankees.
I live to watch them lose. Goodbye. Get the Yankees out of here. I live to watch
Me too.
Them.
I can't stand the Yankees. I'm a Red Sox fan, Chill. So when
I'm a Mets fan, so
trust me, I hate the Yankees. But anyway, do we think my boys in New England, my boys in Navy Blue, legit?
I tell you what, Tone, and I actually had this conversation with my boy Leak. Am I ridiculous to think that on Super Bowl Sunday I could see the Patriots running out of that tunnel zone? Am I ridiculous?
I'm telling you right now, Chill. In 2025, put me on the books for this.
Hold on, Joe. Hold on.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that. I'm just saying, Tall.
I'm telling you right now, Chill. If the Patriots make it to a Super Bowl, this is going to be a repeat of 2000. This is what it's going to be.
Oh,
repeat of 2000, Chill. Another 2 decades of dominance.
Jay, this is a good question, though. Oh, sorry, my bad. Jay, this is a good question. You got Jeter as the GOAT, but you hate the Yankees.
How do I feel about Joe Dumas?
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
There you go.
All right, that's fair.
That fixes that.
You're not a fan of Derek Jeter, Chill?
No, he's got Derek Jeter as the GOAT.
I love Derek Jeter. Yeah.
But he always wants to see Yankees lose. He hates the Pistons, but he loves Joe Dumars. So, okay, that makes sense. All right.
Boy, do you think that my boys are legit? You think my boys legit?
Yeah, they're legit.
Yeah, best team. Hold on, now I'm gonna get a little crazier. Best team in the league.
You can.
I don't think it's ridiculous to think. I don't think it's ridiculous to think that the Patriots could end up representing the AFC in the bowl game. That's as far as I'm going.
AFC looks very. The AFC looks like the Patriots for the taking. Everybody looks the guys who normally win, right? The Chiefs, not that the Bills go to the Super Bowl, but the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, all the teams that are normally the teams, they all look beatable. They all
look human, huh?
And nobody else has proven anything, so why not?
Chill. I got one more question for you, Chill. And do you remember when I told you, Chill, that me and my boy was having a debate about Paul George and JT? Remember when I told you that a couple days ago?
Remember that.
Yes. I kept bringing up numbers, right? And he brought up a point that I wasn't really able to counter. So I'm asking you for some debating advice on this. So he had brought up that JT had done something that only Bron, MJ, and all the other greats had done, leading points, rebounds, assists in the finals. And then he had said, but listen, right? There's a difference between JT and all those other guys. He wasn't nearly as impactful as those guys. That's why JB won that finals MVP. He kind of got me on that one because I wasn't able to counter that out.
Well, that's not true. He might not have been as impactful as those guys, but neither was Paul George because he never even seen it.
True. When I brought that up, he had said, "Oh, JT, he got it. He has a super team." So,
nope. Whenever you hear the super team, that's you're stupid. You're stupid.
If anyone says, "Oh, they had a super team," you've won the debate because that's
done.
Nonsense.
He told me I didn't know ball, and in the same breath said that LeBron James and Jason Tatum don't got a bag because they're pure bruisers. They're just bruisers. They use their physicality to score.
This whole bag thing drives me insane. And then we got to go, but this whole bag thing drives me insane because these guys who talk don't even know what the hell bag means. Bag is basically your ability to score and offensive moves in different ways. Did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar have a bag?
I don't care, Tone. I mean, what are you producing?
That's my point. He had a sky. That's what he had in his bag. And guess what?
Stop this and you stop me.
Guess what? It took years after he retired to score more points than him.
Man.
That's crazy to say JT don't got no bag.
Listen, Kyrie's nice. Kyrie's nice. Like he always says, Kyrie's nice with the pill. Does anyone have Kyrie in their top 25 all-time great players? Who cares? Who cares?
Offensive bag don't really mean nothing, huh?
It doesn't.
If you're not producing anything, it looks good.
Production over bag. So it's nice.
Chill, for Christ's sake. Me and him got into a scoring debate with Paul George.
It's aesthetically pleasing to have a bag, but it doesn't mean.
It really doesn't. The way you could counter that, again, the way you could counter something like that is whenever they bring up stuff like going to the NBA championship, well, you can't have that conversation with me because you've never been there. So you can't. So no matter what those guys were more impactful than Jason Tatum. Well, Jason Tatum was more impactful than your man.
When it didn't count as much.
Yeah. Right.
He didn't just bring that. He also said that the defensive era that Paul George played in was a lot more difficult than JT.
Really?
That was also kind of a difficult one too.
Well, prove that.
Because he said they scored on significantly less points than what they're scoring nowadays.
No, but that's not true. Anything after like 03 when they abolished hand checking and had the zone, like it was the freedom of movement era, and Paul George didn't. Paul George came into the league in what?
2011, right?
Yeah.
10. He showed up in 10.
That stuff that tougher defense was pre 2005.
Right.
So all right, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Appreciate the help,
all right,
guys.
brother. Good to talk to you.
I got him this time.
Take care, man.
Have a good one.
Brother. Yep.
Well, you know what? It's about that time. TikTok.
Yes, it is.
You don't know this TikTok. When you hear this music, he's about to say his stuff.
Absolutely, man. It's good to see you guys. Y'all know where to find us. Me and my man Tony Tone. We do it right here on the Sports Fluent Network and the Chill Town Hoops Network every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. We're going back to 8 o'clock next week. Right? We're at 8:30. We're working on going back to 8 o'clock. We might still be at 8:30, but keep your notifications.
You might have.
Yeah. Keep your notifications on.
Yeah.
Do that. Keep your notifications on. Keep your notification bell on. So this is where you can find me and my man Tony Tone. We do this every Tuesday night. This is where we are. We will see you guys soon. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey man, call your mother. When the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. I'm actually going to see my mother in a couple of weeks. So call your mother. We'll see you soon. But until then, take it light. But take it. Absolutely, man. It was dope to see you guys tonight. This was dope. I'll see you guys soon.
I gotta call my mother.
Yeah.
Fluent and chill, we call it how it's played from the field to the court. Every legend gets away. Fourth quarter heat, over 2-minute drill. If you can't handle truth, better chill with the skill. LeBron or MJ.